All right, everybody. Welcome to another game of the week, 1982 Stratomatic style, replaying all the NBC game of the weeks that were played every Saturday. Of course, I'm posting two a week to try to catch up to the calendar date in 2021. This game was played May the 22nd, a Saturday afternoon in Atlanta. Actually, the game was delayed about 2 hours for rain, and NBC showed the backup game, Oakland versus Boston, and then finally switched to this game. But since we just had Boston last week, or in the last game, I felt like this should have been the game that is shown, so that's what we're going for. And since we had that huge rain delay in Atlanta in the real game, I have deemed it to be bad weather. Even so, Atlanta's still a great hitter's park. Singles for lefties are 1 to 14. Righties, though, are only 1 to 3. Home runs are 1 to 17 for both, and that's with the bad weather, so go figure. Starting pitchers for the Atlanta Braves, Larry McWilliams, a lefty, and Mike Krukow, the right-hander for the Phillies. McWilliams 8-8 with a 3.84 ERA, and Krukow 13-11 with a 3.12 ERA. Save a little time. I won't worry about showing the benches and bullpens. I think that might be boring some people. So we'll just go straight to the lineups to try to spiffy things up a bit and get this show on the road. For the Phillies, leading off will be Bob Dernier in right, Pete Rose at first. Mike Schmidt is back off the disabled list, so he is in his normal number 3 spot at third base. Gary Matthews bats cleanup in left. Bo Diaz, the catcher, hits 5th. Gary Maddox 6th. Manny Trio 7th. Ivan DeJesus can return to shortstop now and hit 8th. And Krukow bats 9th. For the Braves, Brett Butler in center. Glenn Hubbard at 2nd. Claudel Washington at right. Dale Murphy in left. Bob Horner at 3rd. Chris Chambliss at 1st. Biff Pocoroba on the behind the plate today, catching the offerings of Larry McWilliams. Rafael Ramirez at short bats 8th, and McWilliams bats 9th. So Larry McWilliams finishing up those warm-up tosses and leading things off for the Phillies. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Larry McWilliams is using pitcher hitting card number 3, same as Krukow. So both pitchers are using pitcher hitting card number 3 from Stratomatic. So that's what they'll both be using. And now we're underway. Bob Dernier stepping in the box against Larry McWilliams. Let me just make sure everything seems to be copacetic before I sit down. Everything looks to be okay from what I can tell. A little bit of darkness here on the dice tray, but I think you can see everything okay. I'll roll the dice the first time just to make sure, but I think it shows up okay on the phone. We shall see. McWilliams to Dernier. Yep, looks like the dice show up pretty well okay on that one. So we get a 2-8. Dernier against the lefty McWilliams. That's the leadoff single for Bob Dernier. He says everything looks good to me. That's a leadoff single. And McWilliams off to a rough start. Dernier gonna take a chance to get a lead. I got a little gnat or something in here. I don't know how that happened, but who knows what. All right, so McWilliams has a 0 hold rating. Pocoroba's a +2 arm. So -2 for being held gets thwarted by the +2 of Pocoroba. So if Dernier gets a jump, he's a full 19 all the way. So, and in that case, I think Pocoroba will just eat the ball and not even risk a throw. To get a jump, Dernier is a 2 through 6, an 11, or a 12. That's a 3. He gets the jump, and he will steal second base. They're not even going to throw down because, well, you know what? They'll throw down because he's only a T3, so it's worth a gamble, I guess. Has to be a 20, and it's not. So Dernier steals the base. Sometimes you wonder if it's even worth it because you're taking the gamble of throwing the ball away. So Dernier is at second base with nobody out now. And Pete Rose, the batter. Nothing on the havoc roll. McWilliams to Rose, 5-4. That is a catcher X, and Pocoroba's a 4E4. 4E4. And as my normal procedure, I always forget one thing, whether it's a chart or card or something, and I forgot my fielding chart. So it's a 4E4 for Pokoroba, 4 and an 8 as a catcher. 4 and an 8 is a P/P, and that is a 9, and he is an E4. There's no error there, but a P/P, let's check that category. P/P, let's see, we're using the WOW pitch rating to see if there's a pass ball. McWilliams is a WOW pitch rating of 3. So there is no pass ball. So let's see what happens on that. I think if there's no pass ball, batter pops out. Yep, so it's pop out, and Dernier has to hold where he is. So Pete Rose pops out to Pokoroba for 1 away, and that brings up Mike Schmidt. 1, that's a chance at a wild pitch. McWilliams is a 3, but no wild pitch. Here's Schmidt. Got to be careful with Schmitty. His column 2 is loaded with home runs. But he found 5, which is under McWilliams. 5-12 is a ground ball third base X. That's Bob Horner. He's a 3E12. 3 and a 13 for Bob Horner. 3 and a 13 should be a good play. It is a G2, and that's a 9, and he is an E12. There is no 9. So a G2 with the runner at second base in the infield normal. G2 says right, and right says batter, the ball hit to first or second, batter's out, runner advance, ball hit to shortstop, pitcher or catcher, C decide. Ball to third baseman, batter's out, runner holds. So since it was hit to third, he has to hold. Dernier cannot advance. So Horner checks Dernier and throws out Schmidt. 2 down for the Sarge, Gary Matthews. 1-3 for Matthews against the lefty McWilliams. It's a ballpark single check. For right-handers, though, it's only a 1-3, and that's an 8, so that's a line out to short. And so McWilliams pitches out of that mess without giving up anything. Somehow he escaped all that. Phillies had a good start. Runner at second, nobody out, but could not get it done to get a run home. Go to the bottom of the first. It's Phillies nothing, Braves coming to bat. And Mike Krukow, the right-hander, is on. I believe he's now an announcer, color commentator for the San Francisco Giant games, along with Dwayne Kuiper. But back in 1982, he was a stalwart in the Philly rotation, along with Steve Carlton. All right, Brett Butler will lead things off for the Braves against Krukow. 5-7, struck him out. So Butler is out on strikes. That brings up Glenn Hubbard. 1-7 for Hubbard. He's going to walk. So a strikeout and now a walk. Hubbard not really a threat to steal. He will not try anything. Although Krukow is a +3. But if you get a jump, it'll be a 1-14. I think with Washington and Murphy and Horner coming up, you're going to stand pat. They will hold Hubbard. He will be held. Here's Claudel Washington. 4-4 against Krukow as a catcher X. That's Bo Diaz. He's a 2E4. 2 and an 18 is probably a ground out of some kind. Probably a G2. Let's see. 2 and an 18 is a G2. So we get a force play. That's a 12. And he's an E4. No 12. So it's going to be a force play. A G2 with a runner at first is a force play. So it's going to go 2-6. As DeJesus is covering second base. Claudel Washington reaches on the fielder's choice. Now he's looking to maybe get a jump. 2 through 5, 11, or 12 would get him a jump. 8 cannot do it. So Washington will stand pat. He will be held. For the big guy, Dale Murphy, at least one of the big guys, one of the 2 big guys, he and Horner with a 1-2 punch in 1982. Krukow to Murphy, 2-9, struck him out. So Krukow gets out of the mess. Not that much of a mess, but a little bit of a mess, and the inning's over. We go to the second, no score from Fulton County Stadium in Hotlanta. Larry McWilliams back out. We'll be facing Bo Diaz. Catcher. 5-7, and on McWilliams, that's a fly to center. One down, and that brings up Gary Maddox. 1-7 against the lefty, struck him out. 2 down. And that will send up Manny Trio. 3-4 against the left-hander is a ground ball to third, and Horner is there. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Larry McWilliams. Much better than the first. We go to the bottom of the second. Still no score from Atlanta. Krukow back out. Will be facing Bob Horner. 1982, easily Horner's best year. 32 home runs, 97 runs driven in. Then in 83 and 84, he pretty much dealing with injuries, and by that point, 85, 86, he was probably done, or just about done. All right, here's Krukow. 5-10, and that's going to be a ballpark single check. Again, only a 1-3, and that's a 5, so he's going to line it to short, 1 away. Chris Chambliss. I'm not sure why the discrepancy between lefty and righty since it's a symmetrical park, but that's how Stratomatic rates it, so all I can do is play it. Krukow, 5-7, that's a strikeout. 2 down, Chambliss is gone for Biff Pocaroba. Don't see many guys named Biff anymore, which is probably a good thing. 4-10 against the switch hitter batting left. That's a fly ball center field X, Gary Maddox. He's a 1E3. There was an old saying, 2/3 of the world is covered by water. The other third is covered by Gary Maddox. Perennial Gold Glove center fielder. E3, so he's got to avoid the error. That's a 9. I don't think that's a problem whatsoever. E3, the only way he makes an error is a 3, 16, or 18. So it's good play for Gary Maddox. And the inning is over. Of course, I'm not sure if it's Maddox or Maddox. I guess it's Gary Maddox. I always call him Maddox, but I think it's Maddox. But I guess either is sufficient. McWilliams back out. We'll be facing DeJesus, Krukow, and Dernier. Top of the third, no score from Fulton County. After a big rain delay, 6 lights are on. 6-5. McWilliams against a right-hander. Ground ball shortstop X. That's Rafael Ramirez. He's a 3E40. So rough error rating there for Ramirez. Decent range, but a high error rating. That's a 10. He might get by with that. E40 for a shortstop and a 10 is a good play. And a 3 and a 12 is a G2. So how about that? That D20 was kind. And DeJesus makes the play. 1 away. And that sends us up to the pitcher. Mike Krukow pitcher hitting card number 3 for Krukow. McWilliams, 5-5, and that's a strikeout. 2 down. Back to the top of the order, and Bob Dernier. Six, 8, and that's the trouble spot for McWilliams. Column 6 is trouble. 15 is going to be a double. So Dernier singles, and now he doubles. 2-out double for Bob Dernier. He will have to be held on second base. Try to keep him close, and Pete Rose, the batter. Pete Rose, the batter. Roll for any kind of havoc. 20, nothing's happening. Rose, 1-7, and that's against a lefty. That's a single with only 1 star. So a single 1 star means Dernier will not score. He has to hold at third. And McWilliams still has a chance to get out of this with no runs. Rose will be held at first, but he won't try to go anywhere. And Mike Schmidt, the batter. So tough outing here. Runners at the corners, 2 outs, and Mike Schmidt, the batter. McWilliams on the havoc. Nothing's happening. McWilliams has to avoid Schmidt's column 2. He did. It's column 3. 3-7's the strikeout. So how about that? McWilliams pitches out of the jam again. How many times can you go to the well? But Joe Torre is like, keep going. We go to the bottom of the third. No score. And Rafael Ramirez will lead it off, followed by McWilliams and Butler. 4-5, and that's going to be a fly to center. Maddox puts it away, 1 down. And pitcher coming up, Larry McWilliams, off pitcher hitting card 3. but we're off Kruko's card. 4-3 against a lefty hitting pitcher. Ground ball first base X. That's the same whether it's lefty or righty. Ground ball first base X. And first baseman in this case is Pete Rose. He's a 3 E8. 3 and 12. He gets to an E8 and an 8. Is a good play. So Pete Rose will field it and flip to Kruko covering for out number 2. That'll bring up Butler. Kruko 6-6, and that's a bad spot for Kruko. Just like on McWilliams, 6-8 was bad on Kruko. 6-6 is bad against a lefty anyway. 1-9 is a double, but that's a 12, so it'll be a single for Brett Butler, a 2-out single. And he will be looking to get a jump. See if he can get the jump. 2 through 6 or a 9 gets him a jump. 7, so that does not get him the jump. Now, if he tried to steal without a jump, that'd be a 15 minus the 4 would be an 11. 11, but then you'd have plus 3. So that'd be a 14. 1 to 14 without a jump. He could still go. He's going to try it. 1 to 14, they're going to try it. And he makes it. Stolen base for Brett Butler. Even without getting a good jump on that sloppy turf, he still was able to make it the stolen base. So he's in scoring position for Glenn Hubbard. Butler will be held. Nothing on the Havoc. Here's Hubbard. 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. And with them holding Butler on and a right-hander up, that's the second baseman trio. He drops from a 1 to a 2, so he becomes a 2E6. 2 and a 14, though, won't be a problem. E6 and a 9 should not be either. It is not. It's a ground out to end the inning. So Butler a single and a steal, but gets stranded at second at the end of 3. No score from Fulton County as Ted Turner looks on with Jane. McWilliams back out. He'll be facing the Sarge, Gary Matthews. Next game on the Game of the Week will be May the 29th on the schedule. And on May the 29th, the Game of the Week will be Cincinnati at Montreal. It'll back north of the border. And then the week after that, it'll be the Giants at the Cubs in first week of June. But right now, we're at May the 22nd, and we're in Hotlanta. Here's the Sarge, Gary Matthews, 5-7, fly to center. 1 away. And that game next week at Cincinnati, Montreal, it's Steve Rogers and Tom Seaver is the pitching matchup. So that looking forward to that one. I believe it'll be Cincinnati's last appearance. They appeared opening day, and I think they get this appearance in this game coming up against Montreal, and I think that's going to be it for them for the season because they were a last place team or close to a last place team. All right, here's Bo Diaz. 3-4 against the lefty McWilliams. He flies to left, 2 down. That brings up Gary Maddox. 1-6 for Maddox, and he flies to left, 3 down to end the inning. Maddox must be a clutch hitter because he's got a couple of outs here with clutch symbols. He's got a couple outs here with clutch symbols. So he must have really done well in the clutch. I have to look up his numbers and see what his batting average was with 2 outs and runners in scoring position or whatever they call clutch. Because he's rated that way by Strat for sure. All right, Kruko will come out and face the heart of the order for the Braves here in the bottom of the 4th. Claudell Washington, Dale Murphy, and Bob Horner. No score here from Fulton County. Kruko 4-12 against the lefty. Split chance 1 to 8's a single. That's a 5. So Claudell Washington will get a leadoff single. And he's going to certainly look to get a jump. 2 through 5, an 11 or a 12. 12, he got the jump. So he's going to try to steal. Or he's not going to try to steal. He's going to steal. See if he's successful or not. 18 is being held, makes him a 16. But then the +3 makes it a 19. Do they want to take a chance on throwing? I guess they will. 2, it's a chance of a throwing error. That's the chance you take. He's a T5. And he doesn't throw it away. So nice stop there by Trio to prevent that ball from going into the outfield. But it is a stolen base for Claudell. He's in scoring position for Dale Murphy with nobody out. Kruko to Murphy. 4-7 against the right-hander. That's a single 2 stars, and just like that, Claudell Washington trots home. Braves lead it 1-0 on the RBI single from Dale Murphy. And now Murphy is looking to get the jump of 3 through 6. And he gets the jump. He's going to be going here. 16 minus the 2 for being held to 14, plus the 3 is a 17. And this time they caught him, so this time Diaz gets off a good throw and they threw him out. Trio laid on the tag, and that's 1 away. So they tried to get a little greedy and just didn't work out. And even turned Bob Horner and Chris Chambliss upside down because of that. So let's fix that real quick. Don't know how that happened. But of course, I think there was a Diana Ross song or one of those groups that did a song called Upside Down. I'm not a big Motown person, so I don't know all the music there. I know some. Some of it's quite good, actually, but I don't know all of it. All right, here's Kruko facing Horner with the bases empty now. 3-4 for Horner. That's a ballpark single check. That's a 12. It has to be a 3 or less, so he's going to line it to short once again. I think he's 0 for 2 on ballpark checks now. That's 2 down for Chambliss. 2-6 against a right-hander, and that's a 1-5 single. That's a 2, so it's a base hit for Chambliss. He will not try to steal. He will be held, but he won't try to steal. And that'll bring up the switch-hitting Pokaroba. 6-3 against the lefty is a ground ball to second, and Trio will go the easy way for the out. But the run does score on this single by Claudell Washington, the stolen base, and then the RBI single by Murphy. Go to the 5th. It's Atlanta 1 and Phillies 0. McWilliams has a fatigue rating of 6, Kruko of 7. But actually, both teams have a fair amount of bullpen pitchers to go to, so not like some of these games where we're shorthanded. They got plenty of arms out there. Trio, the batter. Kruko is set to bat third this inning, but it's too early to pinch hit for him. 1-5 for Trio against the lefty. Struck him out. McWilliams with his 3rd strikeout of the game. Not really a strikeout pitcher, but he got it's his 3rd. Here's to Jesus. 5-3. Ground ball first base X. That is Chambliss. Chambliss is a 2E12. 2-13 is good all day long. E12 and a 12 at first base, and that's a good play. Chambliss will field it, throw to McWilliams covering, and there's 2 away. And as I said it before, in case you're wondering why I say throw to the pitcher covering, anytime it's an X check, I always say the first baseman throws to the pitcher covering, just to be different. There's no set rule for that, just my own little quirk, if you want to call it that. Here's Kruko, 2 outs, bases clear. 2-11, and he's going to fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. So 5 shutout innings from Larry McWilliams. He's pitching very well. And Kruko is not pitching poorly either. He's just not getting any run support. We go to the bottom of the 5th, still 1-0. Ramirez to lead it off, followed by McWilliams. 4-8, and that's going to be a 1-7 single, but that's a 12, which is a ground ball to Schmidt. 1 down. Takes us to the pitcher, Larry McWilliams. See what he can do against Kruko. 3-10, and he's going to actually draw a walk. How about that? Mike Kruko walks the pitcher, McWilliams. How about that? They will not hold McWilliams on. Now they are taking a second to wait for them to send a jacket out to McWilliams, because can't have 70s or 80s or 60s baseball without a pitcher on the base pads with a jacket on, even if it's 80 degrees outside. Still got to wear the jacket just for the style. All right, Kruko. Nothing on that. Here's Butler. 5-9 against the lefty. Struck him out. Butler out on strikes. 2 down for Glenn Hubbard. Nothing on the Havoc. Here's Hubbard. 2-9 for Hubbard, and he's going to strike out as well to end the inning. So we go to the 6th, still 1-0 Atlanta. Pitching duel here at Fulton County. Haven't had any ballpark home run checks, and the single checks have been going mostly to the right-handers, so that's keeping things down. McWilliams, this is his point of weakness inning. Got to start keeping track of that now. Here's Dernier, and he has done well. Dernier is singled and doubled, 2 for 2 with a stolen base. 3-7, and that's a walk. So Dernier continues his on-base prowess against McWilliams, and he's going to be looking to get a jump. Try to get himself in scoring position. 2 through 6, an 11 or a 12. 5, he gets the jump. They finally get the jump. Again, he stole the base in the first inning. He's going to try again. He's a 19. I got to recalculate. 19 minus 2 for being held is a 17. And then Pokoroba's a +2, makes it a 19. So 3, it's possible throwing error on Pokoroba. He's a T3. And he throws it away, so he probably should have ate that one, but he didn't. Stolen base there for Dernier and a E2 on the throw from Pokoroba. And Dernier is at third with nobody out. Atlanta won this game in real life 5-2. Each team committed an error. That was Atlanta's error. Philly is yet to record an error. Now, with the runner at third, nobody out, do you play half infield in, or you just kind of concede the run and try to stop the big inning? I think you're going to concede the run and stop the big inning. So McWilliams, nothing going on there. So they're going to play the infield back for Pete Rose. Yeah, they're going to play the infield back. 6-7, ground ball, second base X. That is Hubbard. Hubbard is a 3 E16. Oops, the blue die did not. One of the blue dies didn't go through. Let's try it again. All right, 10. He's going to not make an error. 3 and a 15. 3 and a 15 is a G1, and a 10 I think is no problem whatsoever on an E16. It is not. So go to G2. G2 with the runner at third. Infield normal means runner advance. So it's a 4-3 ground out, but Dernier comes in to score. And we're tied at a run apiece. RBI ground out for Mr. Charlie Hustle. Base is empty now for Mike Schmidt. 5-7, and that's a fly to center. Put away out there by Brett Butler. 2 down. And that takes us to Gary Matthews. 6-5. Ground ball shortstop X. That's Ramirez. A 3 E40. 3 and a 3 might even be a hit. And I believe it is. 3 and a 3 is a hit. That's a 10. So he's going to avoid the E40 error problem. So it's not an error, but it will be a base hit as it sneaks by him. And Gary Matthews got a chance to get a steal. He needs a 7 to get the jump, though. It's the only way he can get a jump. 8, he can't quite do it. So he will stand pat. He will be held. And here's Bo Diaz. 6-7. 6-7 is a ground ball, second base X. Going to Glenn Hubbard. Hubbard. Now they were holding the runner, so Hubbard will drop one. He drops to a 3 E16 because he's responsible for holding the runner at first base with a right-handed batter up. Along with the first baseman, the second baseman is also responsible. So he becomes a 3 E16 for Glenn Hubbard. And 18 is not a problem, but the error might be a problem. That's a 15. So an E16 and a 15, and it is a one-base error on Hubbard. E16 to 15, that's an E4. So the second error of the inning for Atlanta. And Matthews will take second base. So runners are at first and second with 2 down for Gary Maddox. McWilliams trying to get out of this mess. His defense is not helping him. Pitch to Maddox, 6-8, and that's the trouble spot, 6-8, and that's an 8. That's a double 2 stars. Double 2 stars, so at least one more unearned run will come in. And let's see if Bo Diaz can score. The double is assumed to go to center. Butler is a -2 arm. There are 2 outs, though. And the trail runner, Diaz, not being held makes him a 10. 2 outs makes him a 12. But then the -2 makes it a 10. So 1 to 10, they're going to try him. 1 to 10, can he make it? He can. And Maddox will take third on the throw. So Maddox moves up on the throw as Butler's throw is offline. Misses the cutoff man. Phillies now lead it 3-1, and that's going to be it for McWilliams. He is going to leave. really deserved a better fate, just bad fielding. So he's going to come out of there. And they will go to a right-hander out of the pen to face Manny Trio. Bullpen options for the Braves, I'll go and show them now. Rick Camp, Steve Bedrosian, Gene Garber, and Preston Hanna from the right side. Al Raboski from the left, and then Bob Walk, also another right-hander. So in this case, they will go to Steve Bedrosian. Gene Garber is their closer, so Bedrosian's more like a setup guy. So he's better to try to get out of a mid-inning jam than some of these other guys would be. So Steve Bedrosian is going to come on. McWilliams is going to end up going 5 2/3, giving up 3 runs. But the other run is his responsibility as well. Trio facing Bedrosian with Maddox at third and 2 down. Roll the havoc roll, nothing happening. Pitch to Trio. 1-8 for Trio, and he flies to center to end the inning. But a 3 spot for the Phillies, thanks to some shoddy defense by the Braves. They lead it 3-1 and have turned that lead over to Krukow, giving them a 3-1 lead over Atlanta. It'll be the heart of the order. Washington, Murphy, and Horner due up for the Braves here in the bottom of the 6th. .410, and that's a fly ball center field X. Maddox is a 1, so we don't need the range check. We just need an error check. And since he is an E3, the only way he makes an error is a 3, 16, or 18. And that's a 3. He's going to make an error. Do you believe that? Gary Maddox is an E3, and a center fielder, if you roll a 3, that's an E1. So Maddox took his eye off of it. First error on the Phillies. Drops in. Kind of wonder how Claudel didn't end up at second, but he didn't. Just a 1-base error. And actually, he's looking to get a jump, as he stole the base last time. So 2 through 5, 11 or 12 to get the jump. 7 cannot do it. So he will stand pat. Here's Murphy. Murphy, the RBI single his last time. 6-6, and that's a single off of Krukow. Single to right field. Claudel runs at a 16. Is being held, makes him a 15. The throw first to third, I do believe you add 2 for that, so that would be a 17. And then the right fielder arm, Dernier, is a -1, make it a 16. 1 to 16. And they're going to send him. And he's in there. 1 to 16. Murphy's going to hold it first. So runners at the corners with nobody out. And things are cooking for the Braves. Murphy may try to get a jump. 3 through 6 would get him that jump. Nope, not going to happen. So he will be held at first. Tying runs are on base for Bob Horner. Nobody out. Phillies are playing the infield back. They will trade the run to get a double play. Krukow 1-9. Fly ball right field B, question mark. Chance for a sacrifice fly. Claudel again runs at a 16. Dernier's a -1, makes it a 15. But on the fly ball right field question mark, I believe you add 2 to this, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check it. Going back and forth between inside pitch and Stratomatic. Sometimes some of the rules you have to look up again because you don't want to get them wrong. Yep. Run rating, outfielders arm +2. All right. Or was that to third base? Let me double check this again. Make sure I'm getting it right. Let's see. It was a fly ball. The result was a fly ball, right field B question mark. Okay. Zip score, outfielders arm +2. Yep, there you go. All right. Yep, that's what it is. All right, so it's outfield arm, runner rating, outfielder arm +2. So Washington's a 16, -1 is a 15, +2 is a 17. 1 to 17, and he will score on the sacrifice fly. And he does. Sacrifice fly from Horner. Cuts the lead to 3-2. So the error pays dividends for the Braves. And Horner drives in the run. Cuts the lead to 3-2. Murphy still at first base. Will not try to go anywhere, but he will be held. Nothing on the Havoc. Here's Chambliss. 5-4. And that's a ballpark single check, but Chambliss being a lefty, it's a 1-4 team. However, that's a 15. So they end up lining it to trio to end the inning. So caught a bad break on the ballpark check on that one. But the Braves do get a run, one of the runs back, and at the end of 6 is 3-2. Favor of it, the men from Philly. And Bedrosian back out. He certainly has multiple inning capabilities. Only faced one batter. It'll be DeJesus, Kruko, and Dernier. So you wonder about Kruko. Next inning will be his point of weakness inning. And they do have a pretty good bullpen. You wonder if they might take him out. Might pinch hit for him. Let's see what DeJesus does. He might be in a position where he could bunt. So we shall see. Bedrosian to DeJesus, 5-5. That's a walk, so actually Kruko may stay in there to bunt. He is a B bunter. He becomes a C bunter. So he's gonna bunt. He's gonna at least attempt to bunt anyway. He becomes a C bunter because the infield are in at the corners. So he takes the B bunter that he's already rated with and becomes a C bunter. So we go to the bunt chart, the super advanced bunt chart with 2 D6s plus the white die to tell us who fields it. And he is a C bunter. That's a 3. C bunter and 3 is a good sacrifice. And the 1 is the pitcher. So it's a sacrifice back to Bedrosian. He will throw over to first base where Glenn Hubbard is covering. 1-4 on the sacrifice. DeJesus does take second base. So productive at bat for Kruko. It keeps him in the game. But the sacrifice fly did the trick. I dropped the D20 out here. Now we're ready to go. Bob Dernier is up with DeJesus at second base. DeJesus will be held at second. First we need a Havoc roll out of Bedrosian. Nothing happening. Here's Bedrosian to Dernier, and he's reached base every time. 2-7. He's going to do it again. It's a walk. Runners at first and second. He's gotten 2 hits and 2 walks. And runners are at first and second with 1 out for Pete Rose. Pete Rose. Braves looking to turn the double play. Bedrosian to Rose. 5-7 against the switch hitter. 1-7 is a single. That's a 17 though, so he's going to line it to first. Snagged by Chambliss. Everybody gets back. 2 down. And now here's Mike Schmidt, who's been quiet. He's 0 for 3, so you can say he's due. He's in a dangerous situation. Bedrosian's got to take care of it, or else this game could get away from Atlanta pretty quickly. 2-7, and he just missed a 3-run homer. 2-8 would have been a 3-run homer, but 2-7, and actually 2-9 would have been a 3-run homer, and so would a 2-10. But 2-7's a strikeout. Boy, talk about missing it by inches, so to speak. And Phillies come away empty-handed, but Bedrosian pitches out of that mess. He will leave because he's scheduled to bat third this inning, so that's it for Bedrosian. His day is done. Bedrosian's going to go inning and a third. And they'll bring in a new pitcher for Bedrosian. Kruko will come back out. He stayed in the game when he bunted, so he did not have to be pulled. He will stay out there. It'll be Pocoroba, Ramirez, and a pinch hitter. And we don't know who the pinch hitter is going to be because it might depend on the base running situation of anybody on base. So here's Kruko to Pocoroba. This is the fatigue inning for Kruko. 5-10, and that's a fly to center, 1 away. Pocoroba is out. Here's Ramirez. 5-9 against a right-hander. Struck him out. He's not tired yet, so the dot does not come into play yet. And now we will get a pinch hitter for Bedrosian as he is lifted. And let's see who they want to go to. If the base is clear, they may be looking at possibly somebody that can hit some home runs. They're actually going to go to Larry Wissington, left-handed. He's the only left-hander off the bench. He and Ken Smith is another lefty, but Ken Smith has no power. So Larry Wissington will pinch hit for Bedrosian. And it looks like in the top of the 8th for Atlanta probably will get Rick Camp. Looks like we'll get Rick Camp out of the bullpen. Rick Camp will be the new pitcher for Atlanta. Here's Kruko to Wissington. 4-3. It's ground ball first base. X. Pete Rose is a 3 E8. 3 and a 19 is a good play. E8 and a 13. E8 and a 13 for a first baseman is a good play. So Pete Rose will field it, flip to Kruko to end the inning. So we go to the 8th. Still 3-2 Phillies. Barn burner here at Fulton County. And Kruko only had one it hasn't had anything against this point of weakness, so he's still good to go if they want him in there. Rick Camp on the 1982 season. A lot of starting, but he also did some relieving. 11 wins, 13 losses, 3.65 ERA, 21 starts, but he did have 5 saves. So he's in there to try to keep things right where they are and not let Philly get out of sight. Trying to keep score at 3-2 as much as possible. Here's a Sarge, Gary Matthews. 2-11, ground ball to first, and Chambliss take it to the bag himself. 1 away for Bo Diaz. 4-5 against the right-hander. Ground ball shortstop X. That's Ramirez again, a 3 E40. Oh, the blue die didn't go through. That's Suadice. Only one of the blue dies went through, not the second one. Try it again. 3 and a 3. That's going to get through for a base hit, and the 12 might even be an error. 40 and a 12 is no error on the 12, but the 4 and a 3 is a single. So a 1-out single for Bo Diaz. He will not try to run at all. He won't even be held. Here's Rick Camp on the Havoc. Nothing going on. Gary Maddox. Camp 4-11. Fly to center. I'm sorry, 4-11 is a fly to left. That dot, he's not tired, so no worries there. 2 down. For Manny Trio. Roll for the Havoc. Nothing going on. Trio. 3-7 for Trio. 1-16 is a single. That's an 18, though, so he lines it to Horner to end the inning. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Still a 3-2 game. Phillies bullpen is up in earnest now. And let's look at the bullpen for the Phillies. They have several lefties. They have Sid Manji and Sparky Lyle. And in the right-handed column, they have Ed Farmer, Ron Reed, Porfirio Altamirano, and Warren Brewster. So they've got a whole bunch of guys there that are eligible, you could say. And we're looking at Sid Manji loosening in the bullpen for the Phillies right now. But Kruko is going to stay out there at the moment. He will be facing 2 out of 3 lefties. And actually, you know what? I wonder if they want to go to Manji here. In fact, they are. They're going to pull Kruko. They're going to pull Kruko. And they're going to go to Sid Manji. They're going to play the percentages and go to Sid Manji. Manji, 7-1 with 3.75 ERA and 2 saves. So Manji is the new pitcher taking the place of Kruko, who pitched very well. 7 innings pitched and only 2 runs. And only one of those was earned. Their closer is Ron Reed. He had 14 saves. So they're looking to have Manji pitch the 8th and then maybe Ron Reed pitch the 9th. We shall see how it plays out. Right now it is Sid Manji. El Cid. Different El Cid. So Butler, Hubbard, and Washington, top of the order. 2 lefties out of the 3. And here's Manji delivering to Hubbard. Lefty on lefty, 6-8. And that's a single to right field from Brett Butler. So the tying run is aboard, and Butler's going to get a chance to steal. Now, it is a -3 from Manji, which is a lot different than what Kruko had going, which was a +3. So this could make an effect here. -3, and then Diaz is a 0. So it's a -3, but you're being held as a -2, which would drop this to a 12. Even if you get the jump, 12 is the best you can do. So do you try it if the 12 is the best you have? Well, they're going to try to get the jump anyway. 2 through 6 or a 9. 8, he can't get the jump. It's a moot point. But Butler will be held. And here's Hubbard. He is a great bunter. So he's going to lay down a bunt. He's an A bunter, becomes a B bunter. But the obvious play here is to bunt and get him into scoring position since he couldn't get the jump. So it becomes a B bunter. And we roll a 4 on a B bunter. B bunter and a 4 says speed. B bunter and a 4 is a speed. Speed says, batter lays down a great bunt and has a chance to beat it out for a single. Roll the D20, the 20-sided die. If it falls within his running range, scored a single. Okay? His run range is a 12. If it's 1 to 12, he beats it out for a hit. No, 13, just not going to do it. The white die was a 5, which means the first baseman, Rose, got it and beat Hubbard to the bag. So it's going to go down as a sacrifice 3 unassisted. And Butler is now in scoring position. But Hubbard almost beat Rose to the bag on that one. Couldn't quite do it. So Butler will be held at second base with 1 out. And Claudell Washington, the batter. Manji to have it. Nothing going on. Lefty on lefty. Manji to Washington. 6-6, and it's a fly to center. That's 2 down. And now with Murphy coming up, they will pull Manji, and they will bring in Ron Reed, but there might be a double switch because Reed's going to bat second next inning. So I think we're looking at a double switch. Let's see. They're going to pull Gary Matthews out and bring in a new left fielder who's got a better fielding rating. And we're going to have Ron Reed hit in the cleanup spot. And we'll have the new left fielder hit in the 9th spot, which is going to bat second next inning. So Ron Reed is going to be on, and on the season, he was 5-5, 2.66 ERA, and 14 saves. So Ron Reed is coming on, and we need a new left fielder. Left fielder will be Greg Gross. Greg Gross is a 2 and an E7 as opposed to a 4 and an E10. So it's a 2. Does have a +1 arm, but he's an E7 in left field. Greg Gross. So he is the new left fielder. And leaving the game is, of course, the Sarge, Gary Matthews. So he will get the rest of the game off. And Gross will slide in behind DeJesus, batting second in the bottom of the 8th. So the wheels turning in both dugouts. And Dale Murphy is up. Runner at second and 1 out. Manji ended up going 1/3 of an inning, giving up a hit. I'm sorry, 2/3 of an inning, giving up a hit. There are 2 outs, not 1 out. My bad. He went 2/3 of an inning. Kruko went 7 innings. Okay, so Ron Reed is on. Butler has to be held. He can score on a 2-out single very easily from Murphy. Havoc roll. Nothing happening. Murphy drove in an RBI single back in the 4th. He's looking to do the same thing here. Reed, 2-8 to Murphy. A 1's a single, but that's a 14, so he grounds it back to Reed. 1-3, not 1-4, and the inning's over. So Reed gets the job done. Braves come away empty-handed. It's 3-2 as we go to the 9th. 3-2 as we head to the 9th. And Camp will leave the game. And Gene Garber will come in and try to keep the score 3-2. So Gene Garber is in. Garber on the season. 8-10 with 2.34 ERA and 30 saves. So Garber is in to try to keep the score at 3-2 and give his team a chance in the bottom of the 9th. Gene Garber. Gene Garber facing DeJesus. Greg Gross, who came in on the double switch, and then Dernier. Garber to DeJesus. 1-8 is a fly to center. 1 away, and that brings up Greg Gross, the pinch hitter. Not the pinch hitter, but the defensive replacement. 4-5, and he's going to come through big time. 1-10's a triple, and that is a 5. It's a triple for Greg Gross. So talk about being Johnny on the spot. Greg Gross had no triples on the season, but he gets a triple here off of the Garber card and takes care of business. So runner at third now with only 1 out and Dernier at the bat. The infield's going to naturally have to come in. They have no choice. Nothing on the Havoc. Dernier, not that good of a bunter, so we're definitely not going to try a squeeze. Garber, 2-6. Ground ball pitcher B. They might get a play at the plate here. Let's take a look. With a runner at third and a ground ball B with the infield in. That's a 7. Batter safe. Lead runner's out. So he tried to score, but they threw him out. Garber throws to Pocoroba covering. Applies the tag. Dernier reaches on the fielder's choice, but that was a big out right there. Dernier will be looking to get a jump, though, to get a steal and get in the scoring position. And a 4 gets him to jump. He's a 19. But -2 for being held as a 17, but then +2 from Pocoroba's back to the 19. And do they try to even throw him out or not? Yeah, I guess they will. Not going to happen. Stolen base for Dernier. That's his 3rd stolen base of the game. And he's in scoring position with 2 down. So the Phillies can still get an insurance run that way. They will hold him on second for sure. Here's Garber to Pete Rose. 2-11. Ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning as Ramirez throws him out. We go to the bottom of the 9th here at Fulton County. Last chance for the Braves. They trail 3-2. And Ron Reed looking to put it away, but he's got to deal with Horner, Chambliss, and probably a pinch hitter for Pocoroba. Although Pocoroba is a 275 hitter, so maybe not. On the bench for the Braves, they do have Bob Watson, who's a pretty decent hitter. Jerry Royster is a better hitter at 295. Rufino Linares is 298. So they got some good hitters off the bench. So we might get a pinch hitter for Pocoroba after all. I think we're going to get Rufino Linares, actually. So Rufino Linares, who is a 298 hitter, he will hit for Pocoroba. And if it goes extra innings, they will just bring in another catcher, Bruce Benedict. But right now, it's Horner, Chambliss first before you get to Linares. Horner and Chambliss get the first cracks at it. Horner to lead it off against Ron Reed. 110 for Horner. He grounds to second. That's 1 out. And the Phillies 2 outs away from a victory. And that would be 2-0 for them on the game of the week as they won the game against the Cardinals a few weeks back. All right, Chambliss, the batter. Ron Reed to Chambliss, 3-8. That's a ground ball to second. 2 down as Trio makes the play. Last chance, it'll be the pinch hitter Rufino Linares. And this is about the point in the broadcast where they start rolling the credits. Thank their producers and everybody else. And promo what's coming up next. So we'll see. Linares says, don't do that just yet. 5-4, and that's a ground ball, third base X. That's Schmidt. He's a 1 E26. We know he's going to get to it with a 1. The only problem might be the E26. As a third baseman, E26, he has to avoid 10, 11, 15, and 17. And that is a 16, so he got lucky. That could have been a 2-base error, but a 16 on a 26 is good. So Schmidt, tough play, but he throws it over to Rose. The ball game is over. Phillies win it 3-2. Nip and tuck all the way. Phillies win it 3-2. The winner is Kruko. The loser is McWilliams, and Ron Reed gets the save. So the Phillies win again on the game of the week in close fashion, as they also did it to the Cardinals a few weeks back. So hope you enjoyed that presentation of the NBC 1982 Game of the Week in Stratomatic, 1982 style. Next game, of course, on the docket will be north of the border in Montreal. It'll be Tom Seaver and the Reds going against Steve Rogers and the Expos. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.